within this journey that you've had up to this point, what's the number one lesson you've learned from your life so far?
Yeah, I was thinking about this question. I mean, I think we've talked about one of the big ones, right? Which is that like more isn't always more.
Okay. Yeah.
um, that we don't have to be like, there's this notion in the world of like more hustle equals more success, more doing equals more results. And I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
Okay.
I really think that it's all about like it's not about the mindless more, it's about the targeted action and the targeted effort and the targeted showing up in the things that matter to you that get you where you want to go. And so the analogy that I think of is like if I was trying to fill a really skinny mouth bottle from a big pitcher, right? It would be hard and water would be kind of spilling everywhere. But if I can target it with a funnel, I'm going to make a lot less mess. And it's the same with our effort. Instead of spreading it everywhere, let's figure out how to sort of target it to the things that matter most to us. And then we can spend less effort overall, have more room to inject these sort of positive moments into our lives and still get where we want to go.
Yeah. Okay. That totally makes sense. Definitely. I'd like to talk about disempowering beliefs for a second. We kind of touched on beliefs once or twice while we were talking. What do you think was your most disempowering belief that you have had in your life, and what do you believe now?
I mean, I think my most disempowering belief early on was probably that that my success has to look like what the world wants it to look like in order to be valid.
Yeah.
That, I need the title and the paycheck and the job and the grades and all those things in order to be happy and successful. I didn't. I wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I couldn't have been, right? Like I said, I know happy lawyers.
Yeah. Okay. I like that you're saying that.
But it's about recognizing that my definition of success could be my own
Mhm.
and that I didn't have to justify it to anyone else. I think anytime I've made a big change in my life, I've gotten hung up on, well, what will other people think? And I am hopeful that I'm done with that. I mean, look, it's in my fabric, so it's going to continue to rear up, but I hope I'm really like functionally done with that. It's not
Yeah.
about what other people think. It's about what's right for you. And it's about clearing that with the people who mean the most to you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, with all of this, these awesome suggestions and nuggets that you're sharing with us, tell us what you do. This is your website up here, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Untangledhappiness.com. So, what kind of coach are you? What can we find at your website, and how do we kind of find you? If, for those listening live right now, obviously they're still here, they're still listening, they're resonating with what you're saying. How can they reach out to you? What do you do?
So, what I do is I am a life leadership and happiness coach. And there's a couple of things you will find at my website. First, you'll find links to all my socials. So that's a great way to connect.
Beautiful.
Second, you'll find a link to my book, which you can see wrong shoulder. I'm like all twisted around. There it is.
Yes.
The cover is right back there. It's called The Happiness Recipe, a powerful guide to living what matters. And it's really a coaching guide to walk you through the process of aligning your life with your priorities. And you can find links to that on my website. And then the last thing you can find there is, well, two things. One, you can learn more about the coaching work that I do. I work with clients one-on-one. I might move into a group format sometime in 2022, still waiting to see how that's going to play out. You can also learn or get more information about sort of some of the speaking and podcasting that I've done. And the last thing is you can join my mailing list if you just sort of want to keep in touch and hear what I'm up to and hear how things evolve. So that's all on the website there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. When clients sign up with you for you to be their coach, at what point, or I guess how would you define success to your clients? What does success look like for them?
Success in general or success in the coaching engagement?
I'm going to say for your client, like your client during your coaching feels successful.
So every coaching engagement that I do kicks off with a longer session. And in that longer session, we take stock, that exercise that I've already described. We get all the things out on the table so that we can know what we're up against. And then we define where we want to go. So we decide together where they would like to be by the end of our time working
Beautiful.
together.
And that's kind of what I was hoping you would say. So I don't want individuals thinking that they're coming to you to quit their job. Their journey doesn't have to look. So thank you for that. You answered that entirely correctly. So everyone's is going to look different.
100%.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. Like I was just this morning reflecting on the clients that I worked with in 2021. And so I helped, I want to make a chart because I'm kind of a data person, but I had a number of clients come to me, I would say in this space of like, I'm not happy, I'm stuck, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. And of that group, I helped clients launch businesses. I helped clients find their next job. I helped clients figure out that they were perfectly okay where they are for now, and that they could just be happier with, some work on their mindset and their daily activities and how they're showing up. Not that they'll stay where they are forever, but they're, again, building that platform from which to architect their future happiness. And so I think the answer is it could be any of those or something that I haven't seen yet, right? Because it is very individual. And often it doesn't look like what we think it will look like when we're in the midst of the stuckness.
Got it. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And it'll evolve too.
Yes.
For individuals who've never worked with a coach before, you might start out with one thing and then, call number, 13, you come to your coach saying, "Hey, listen, I had an epiphany last night
That's right.
with the homework you gave me, and I'm actually thinking this." So, yeah, I totally agree with that. And I love that you're bringing that up. I'd love for you to give some advice, closing up here. What would be some advice firsthand, from you to all the females in the her version arena, for those that aren't feeling so happy, for those that aren't feeling any joy? What would be some advice you'd give them right now?
So I feel called to tell a story, and it's a little off topic of what we discussed, but one of the other sort of transformational experiences I had when I went to Berkeley for my coaching program was the following. So as part of the program, they send us out into the world to coach at real employers. And so like real live coaching is happening. And for many of us, it was our first time coaching in this new framework that we had learned. And before we launched into the world to do that, we did an exercise. And there were 33 people, including myself and my cohort, and 32 other people who are some of the coolest individuals I'd ever met, right? And so by this point, we've spent a really intense 7 days together, like 12, 14 hours a day. I know these people are amazing individuals.
Okay.
And so we have to do this exercise, and this exercise goes like this. We had to name something we were afraid of as we were embarking on this new activity. Okay. And then we had to dig into that fear until we got all the way to the root. And then we wrote that root fear on an index card. And then we handed it to somebody else. And we all had to share each other's root fears out loud. And there were more steps, but not important for the exercise. And do you know what every single one of those 33 root fears was?
No.
I'm not good enough.
Really? That just gave me the chills.
And I was like, there is no way that is true for any of these people. And I can't be the one person for whom it's true, right? Like, it's just not possible. It's just false. It's a false fear. And so I know that's a little off the topic of happiness, but not entirely. And so my advice would be to realize that everybody in the world is walking around believing they are not good enough.
Yeah.
And it's all a bunch of baloney. We were all born good enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to change yourself to arrive at good enough.
Yes.
You're already good enough. And if you're already good enough, you already deserve to be happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a way to close up. What a way to close up. So for those that are listening live, still hanging out with us, almost an hour in, they can go to your website to follow you on social, right? I know you said you're pretty big on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn and
Uh,
Instagram are my main dishes. Yeah.
okay, cool. And any closing thoughts? Any closing thoughts before I close up here? This was absolutely phenomenal.
I don't think I can do better than what I
I
just did.
know that was
So,
so good.
but thank you. Thank you for having me, for having this conversation. I
Yes.
think it's important that we're kind of talking about this stuff and making it um helping people understand that it's accessible to them. I think where people get stuck on happiness a lot is like, so much will have to change before I can be happy. And it's just, I mean, it's not that I believe it's not true. Like the research supports the notion that that is not true.
Yeah.
It's not as inaccessible or as far or as difficult or as big of a change required as you think.
Absolutely. This was absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you coming on. I learned so much. This was so good. I thank you. I thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me and to share your journey. For those of you that are still listening live, I so appreciate you supporting the channel and hanging out with us for pretty much an hour. For those of you that are watching us on the replay, make sure that you hashtag replay before you close out so that we know that you were here and we can say hello and message you. But I'm going to close up. So thank you so much for joining us here on Her Version. This community is expanding every single day and it's filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you follow, like, and share. If you have an amazing story to share, make sure that you contact me here at herversion.life. I was your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others. Do something awesome today.